Makeup I'm not going to buy. We're doing one of these again. I know you really like these types of videos, and actually though, I do have a little bit of an update. I did end up buying something that we talked about in the last episode of this series. So I guess I'll update you on that. At the end of the video, I will tell you why I bought it, some thoughts, but let's jump in. I like doing these periodically. It's kind of like an old school anti-haul, and I think they're just a good almost exercise to do just to be a little bit more critical about our purchasing habits. So I want to start off with a product that's actually not a makeup product, but it is a beauty product, and specifically a hair tool. And it is this round thermal brush from Amika. So Amika is not the only brand that has a brush like this, but I would say it's probably one of the more popular versions of it. And I think as a concept, this is actually pretty innovative. So you're probably looking at this thinking, Kelly, that's just a blow dry brush, but it's not. So this has no airflow through it. So a typical blow dry brush, you know, you're heating up the hair through that warm air, whereas this is a thermal brush. So the component like heats up similarly to a curling iron, basically. It's like a curling iron with spikes. And when I say it like that, I definitely used to own something like this, like back in the, I don't know. It wasn't mine. It was like my mom's, but like in the 90s. I feel like these are not new, but they're becoming pretty popular now. And I have watched so many people create the most incredible hairstyles with a brush like this. So let me start off with the first reason that I don't need to buy this is because I already have a blow dry brush. I have the version of this that has airflow through it, you know? So it's like, do I need both? Are they serving the same purpose? Yes. But what has really appealed to me about this is, you know, you can use it on dry hair, which let's be real, you can use a regular blow dry brush on what am I saying? On dry hair also. But I like that this doesn't make noise. And maybe that's just a me thing, but I don't like the humming sound that I hear from my blow dryer. Even my air conditioner. Sometimes I would prefer to be sweaty than to have to hear it. Or even if I'm cooking in the kitchen, like the overhead fan, the like humming sound that it makes, I would rather there's like smoke in the air. Not smoke in the air, but you know what I mean when you're cooking. I can't stand the sound. So that's why this has really appealed to me. Like, oh, a silent version. It's going to do a similar thing, but it's not like a blow dryer. But the other reason I don't need it is because I don't think it's ideal for my hair. And this is a good reminder, and I specifically wanted to throw this product in as like the first one we discuss, because sometimes I think I need that reminder that things work differently for everyone. And I know that we feel that with like skincare and makeup products especially. Like, you know, you think of a skincare product, we know that I might love something someone else hates and vice versa. But hair products and hair tools are also just as personal, and the type of hair that you have is going to really dictate what products and styling tools will work well for you. And so I actually tried this brush when I was at Amanda Z's house. I stayed with her a few weeks ago. I'm sure many of you know and love Amanda. If you don't, I will leave her channel link down below. You should watch Amanda. She has the most beautiful hair in the world. I know on camera, you know, it's pretty zoomed in, so maybe you don't have the pleasure of seeing like the whole length of her hair, but she has the longest, thickest, most beautiful, perfect hair you have ever seen in your life. And a lot of times she's styling her hair with that product. And whenever I've seen her use it, her hair looks phenomenal. So when I was there, I was like, can I please use the Amika brush? Like, I want to know, like, I have to try it out. Funny enough, it was completely different on my hair because I have fine hair. It is naturally pretty much straight, and her hair texture, her hair thickness is very different than mine. And so with a tool like this, it basically just made my hair look straight, you know? It didn't give me the same amount of body and volume that I've seen it create on people that have much thicker hair than I do. And like truly your hair type and your hair thickness and the texture of it plays such a big role in how it's going to style. You could follow someone's hair tutorial down to a T and it still might look completely different on you. Even like your haircut's gonna play a factor depending on the amount of layers you do or don't have. So even though I feel like that product has been very hyped up and I was feeding into the hype and I was seeing so many wonderful results with it, I've kind of accepted that I will likely not receive the same results with it that someone with thick hair that's a different hair texture will, and that's fine. So I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, this next one, I'm skipping for a different reason. This is from Tarte. This is the Maracuja Juicy Shift. This is their pH adjusting lip product. And here's the reason I'm skipping this, because these are the type of things where you have one, you have them all. And don't get me wrong, there's like a minor variance between most of these pH changing lip products, but not to the point that it justifies having a collection of them. And I have, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different pH changing lip products. And let me tell you, between that, the look I would create is going to be identical to this Tarte one. And it's funny too, when these launched, I remember watching a story from Rudy Berry, love Rudy Berry, and she swatched all of them on her arm and she was like, you guys, these are all the same color. So from the start, it was a little bit strange for Tarte to launch so many of these in different shades. And I'm using air quotes because they're really not different shades. They're just a different color in the tube, but on your lips, they all kind of look the same. And that's the thing with pH changing lip products and pH changing cheek products. Sometimes they're a little different, like maybe some look a little more pink, some look a little bit more red, but in general, you're not getting that different of an effect. So that's one of those things that's like, when you've got one, you've got them all. Let's talk about another hair product. This is K18. This is everywhere. It is like the new it girl in town. I have heard incredible reviews of this. And it's one of those products that I'm pretty sure if I owned it, I would probably also be shouting from the rooftops about how good it is. There's not any part of me that is thinking, oh, I probably wouldn't like this, or oh, it probably wouldn't work well for me. The reason I'm skipping this for now, I'm sure I'll buy it one day, but I'm skipping it for now because I have a stash of Olaplex that is still serving like a very similar purpose to this. And this has kind of been something I've had to be intentional about because every time I hear someone rave about K18, I'm like, oh, I should go buy that. I suppose we can think of it similarly to the pH changing lip products where it's like, I could buy it and I probably would like it. Same with those Tarte lip products. Like if I bought them, I'd probably like them. But would it be serving a new purpose outside of something I have currently? No. And I have a stash of Olaplex, though I did just finish up my number 3 treatment last night. But I do have another backup one that I'm about to start. So I'm sure one day when I work through the products I have right now, I will buy K18. And I feel strongly that one day I'll probably be coming on camera being like, yeah, it's worth the hype. It's very good. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. We'll see. But I don't need to buy it now just because everyone's talking about it, you know? And that's something I try to remind myself of, especially in skincare, because that's a category that expires quickly. It's a little bit harder to use up. And I know I can be so guilty about this with sunscreens, especially if I'm seeing rave reviews about a new sunscreen. I'm like, oh, I should go try it. And if I tried it, would I like it? Maybe, but is it serving a different purpose than the other sunscreens I have? No. So I have to like actively remind myself like, wait, girl, you can buy that, but you probably should wait to buy it until you're done with the products that you have that are already doing the same thing. Okay, these cream blushes from Tower 28. Let me start off by saying something so blasphemous. I have never tried anything from Tower 28, and I actually feel like that will change soon. There are a handful of products that are on my list, especially that spray in the orange spray bottle. I have heard the best things about. I'm very acne prone, as you probably know, because I feel like I mentioned that in every video, and I've heard that's great for acne. So I'm sure I'll buy that at some point. The mascara, everyone that I know that owns it is like, girl, that's the best mascara. You need to get it. And I'm sure one day I will. But these cream blushes, I have also heard rave reviews about. And I've had to just kind of talk myself out of them and just remind myself, Kelly, you don't really vibe with cream blush like that. And it's not that I don't think I would use them and love them, because I'm sure that I would, but I've had to kind of do some like mental tallying of how frequently I use cream products, like cream cheek products, and then factor in just the expiration of those products. And yes, obviously I shouldn't be hoarding a ton of any category, but especially when it comes to like cream blushes, cream bronzers, I've got enough to last me for a little while. And at this rate, like I'm obviously not gonna be able to get through all of them before they go bad because cream products expire so much faster. So that has kind of held me back on cream products like this, even though these I've heard so many people rave about. I know they're well loved. I just don't think it would make sense for me to purchase. At least not right now. Maybe someday. And I suppose similar for this next one, this blush duo from Patrick Ta has been the internet's favorite for quite a while now, and it is a duo of cream and powder, and I think it's a really interesting product, and I like that Patrick Ta has done something a little bit different here because he actually recommends that you apply the powder first and the cream over top. He swears it gives a better finish, better longevity, and I think that alone is intriguing enough for me because I just like that this seems so different. I mean, I could do that same order with other cream and powders that I have, but I feel like this duo right here has just been everywhere, and that temptation has definitely been like eating away at me, especially as someone who was very deep into the hot pink blush trend. Though lately, I've been shocked to accept this, but I feel like my obsession with the hot pink blushes is starting to fade away. It's not gone yet. But every time I see a hot pink blush like this, I don't immediately feel the need to add it to my cart the way I might have a year ago, you know? And I'm gonna say this goes back to the pH changing lip products where it's like when you have one, you have them all. And the interesting thing about eyeshadows, blushes, bronzers, any sort of color product or product that's not like skin tone, when you swatch them out, you can see those minute differences. You know, if I took this pink blush from Patrick Ta and I took a pink blush that I already had and I put them next to each other, it would be clear that they came from two different brands. They were not the same color, they were not the same product. But once you start putting them on your face, the difference, it's not as noticeable, okay? I will say that, especially when you're completing a whole makeup look. Yes, you might have a little bit of a change, like this pink blush might look a little bit different than this pink blush, but once you factor in the rest of the base and you have also added on your highlight, your bronzer, you've done this and that, is it gonna be that different? No. So that's what I mean when I say kind of when you have one, you have them all, because two bright pink blushes are gonna look similar on the cheeks, even if they look slightly different in the pan. But let's talk about what I wasn't going to buy and then I bought. So I mentioned this in the last version of this video, which I can leave linked down below. And I said I was not going to buy the KELLYG Yum Pistachio perfume. And I mentioned in the video that I loved the scent of it because going back to Amanda, she was wearing it and it smelled incredible on her. This was when we were in Charleston. And every time she would walk past me, I was intoxicated. I was like, I've never smelled anything so delicious in my life. I need to own this. But I was holding off. And after still kind of like marinating on it for a while, but still going back to that perfume so much, I was like, you know what? I think I am going to get it now. And so in that sense, I don't necessarily think of this as like a fail. Not that it's a fail, you know, but that is always the mindset that I want to have with these types of videos. Like, if anything, I'm retraining myself not to impulse purchase things, you know? So with this perfume, I was fighting the urge to buy it, even though everyone on the internet was talking about it. But even though I didn't buy it right away, I still continued to think about it constantly to the point where I was like, you know what? I think I want it. I think I really do want it. It's not just me giving into the hype right now. I want that perfume. So I bought the mini. I was like, I don't need the full size. I recently decluttered my perfumes. I have no need for one giant one. Not giant, it's normal size, but you know what I mean. So I bought the mini. And you want to know the worst part, you guys? I don't like this on myself. And I should have known. I should have gone to Sephora, not swatched it, but sprayed it onto my skin and worn it myself for a day or two, because then I might have realized this. I don't like it on myself. And isn't that just the weirdest thing about perfumes? On her, I thought it was the best scent ever, to the point that I was thinking about it for months and telling myself, oh, you don't need it, but I really want it because it smells so good on Amanda. And on me, I'm like, I don't like this. It's okay. I have worn it. I mean, you can see a dip in it. I have already worn it a few times, and I've had compliments on it. I just don't think it translates as well on my skin as hers. And it's just so funny how that works. But I've also had that happen before, because I've had perfumes that I didn't like on myself that I have decluttered and given to my roommates. And then when they wear them, I'm like, you smell so nice. What are you wearing? And they're like, oh, it's the perfume you gave me. And I'm like, I hated that on my skin, but with your body chemistry, it is presenting so differently and it smells delicious on you. So fragrances are weird. That's one of those things where in my head, I want to think that they're like one size fits all, but really they're not. Let me know your thoughts. If you've tried any of these products, I would love to hear your reviews, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next one. Bye.